Welcome to John Martin Talks, where we battle ignorance and apathy daily. The growing ignorance of just how special this experiment we call the United States of America, and the apathy that we can't or won't do anything and everything to save her. Well, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Here's to you. You made it to the weekend. It is Friday here at John Martin Talks, and we're glad to have you here. We got a great show for you today. We're going to start out with President Trump is just raring to go. You know, he's been isolated at the White House, coming from Walter Reed and all, and the president is chomping at the bit, baby. He is ready to go full bore, and people are having to kind of hold him back, and we'll talk about that. And then there's a new poll out, and it is an amazing poll. And it doesn't show Biden ahead by 50 points or anything like that. I mean, what's the latest poll? Biden up by 100 right after the Harris debate or whatever. But Americans believe, a significant majority of Americans believe that they are now better off under Donald Trump than they were under Barack Obama. And we're going to compare the Trump, this is a Gallup poll, and we're going to compare those numbers to past presidents and talk about what they might mean. But before we go any further, I got to talk to you about our sponsor, Big Daddy Unlimited. Yes, we're live every day, Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time from the Big Daddy Unlimited studios. You can check out our sponsor by going to the show description. No matter where you look at the show, whether it's on America's Voice News, good morning, howdy, how are you guys out there? Whether it's on my YouTube channel, spell it all the way out, John Martin Talks. It doesn't matter where you're watching it or when you're watching it. Look at above the video and you will see a description of our show. Scroll down and you will see Big Daddy Unlimited, BDU, our sponsorship link. For 99 cents, virtually a free trial of the first month, you get factory direct pricings on everything Second Amendment related to, yes, guns and ammo, tactical gear, swag, everything, factory direct pricing, delivered direct to your door. After that first month at 99 cents, it goes up to $10, cancel at any time, but a portion of that $10, $4, like 4 more years for President Trump, goes to support the show and get the word out even further. We have some things in the pipeline over the next few weeks that you're going to find amazing, because we are going to expand this show even further. With your help and support, that's going to make it happen. All right, let's get into this first article, and it's from the Washington Post. Isolated in the White House. This is what they're saying. Trump struggles to project a sense of normalcy after canceled debate. Now, this is the Washington Post. Let me tell you, before we get into the meat of this, when I was reading through this article and making my notes, I got to tell you, looking at the headline and what it actually said, this is one of the stranger articles I've seen in a while. And it certainly separates those of us who get Donald Trump, and yes, I got a man crush on him. I'd admit it fully well. Donald Trump is by far the man. And he's still your president, snowflakes, regardless of what you might see reported in the news. But Donald Trump, if you support Donald Trump, or even if you're just an open-minded American, the wording in this article, it just separates those of us who understand Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, though many of us love the guy, and the rest of the country that are just perplexed because this article makes no sense compared to the title. I'm going to read the title once again. Isolated in the White House, Trump struggles to project a sense of normalcy after, canceled debate. So let's get into it. Trailing in the polls. That's probably true. We're going to have one that he's not in. Stricken with the novel coronavirus and stuck in isolation at the White House, President Trump has tried to project an image of strength and normalcy that belies his troubled circumstances. Belies his troubled circumstances. I don't know about you, but I think Donald Trump is on fire right now, man. And I'm not talking about a fever from COVID. Yeah, he's practicing his isolation and quarantine, and I mean, stuck at the White House is probably not too bad. Joe Biden wishes he was stuck at the White House instead of that basement. Now, let's just hope we don't stick him in the White House that being Joe Biden, because that, ladies and gentlemen, will be a catastrophe. But belies his troubled circumstances. I got to thinking about this yesterday, and I was talking to Big Daddy of all people, the gentleman behind Big Daddy Unlimited. Good morning, Tony. How you doing, man? He knows who he is. And we were talking on the phone last night, and I told him he made some points, and he was talking about Trump and everything else, and big fan of Trump as well as I am. And I told him, I said, I think it's beyond just President Trump. Yes, President Trump has exposed the media. He's exposed the Democratic Party for the socialists that they have become. I'm talking about the leaders, the outright communists. He's exposed, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Yes, Donald Trump has exposed that. He's exposed members of the Republican Party, the never-Trumpers that talked about being conservatives, but when we finally get one, they don't want nothing to do with him. So, yeah, Donald Trump has exposed a lot of that. But you know what I think Donald Trump has done more than anything else, and it just kind of hit me, and I hope you'll enjoy this analogy. You know the frog in the pot analogy, where you talk about that, if you put a frog in a pot and you turn it up slowly, he'll just cook, won't even jump out because he don't realize the water. If you throw him in boiling water, he's going to jump right out. Well, I think what Donald Trump has done is exposed us, the American people, that we're all in the pot. We're in the pot. And we've been slowly being steamed by these progressives because they've been at this for a long time. This is nothing new. The Democratic Party has been slowly but surely taken over by hardcore leftist progressives for decades now. For instance, look at how far the Democratic Party has come from two of their icons. FDR, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. And the Democratic Party is nothing but the party of fear now. We have everything to fear, including fear itself, right? And then, of course, JFK asked not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Does the modern Democratic Party even compare to that? They're like 180 degrees and they want free stuff. What's in it for me? I mean, Kamala Harris just the other night in that debate was boasting about the difference between Trump's economy and Biden's projected economy is basically we're going to give you a bunch of stuff. We're going to cut, but we're going to take away your tax cut. And contrary to what she said, the tax cut has helped about 80% of working Americans in the middle class. They got over $1,200 on average, some states even more. Yeah, but Nancy Pelosi calls that crumbs, right? So Donald Trump, man, he has done more for Americans working class than probably any president, certainly in my lifetime. But going back to this frog in the pot analogy. So I believe we as Americans, all of us, pretty much all of us, have been in that pot for a while. And the heat has been turned up ever so slightly, day after day, moment after moment, decade after decade. And we've gotten fat and happy and think we're in a dadgum spa. And so we haven't really noticed that we're about to burn up. Of course, now they're burning up the country literally. But Donald Trump has exposed, has given us a truly wake up call. And a lot of us have realized that, hey, I'm in a pot of boiling water and we want to jump out. We're jumping out the pot. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what terrifies the left. That's why they're so hell-bent on defeating Donald Trump. It's not about Donald Trump. It's about us frogs that have finally realized we're boiling and we're one step away, probably one election away from just being cooked. Our goose will be cooked. We'll be done. We'll be frogged, cooked in that pot. And so Donald Trump has exposed and awakened a lot of people here that, hey, we can't just lay around and be fat and happy. We have to do what Ronald Reagan's, kind of our founding fathers, like Ronald Reagan. I consider him a modern day founding father where it's not, the freedom's not just passed along in the bloodstream. We have to teach it. That's why I do the show every day. Battling that ignorance and apathy, trying to teach people, young, old, everything from 8 to 80, blind, crippled, and crazy, that we're actually have something worth fighting for. And then, of course, Thomas Jefferson said, that that a country that wants to be, or a people that want to be both ignorant and free want what never was and never will be. We have to fight for our freedom. We've kind of taken it for granted. And I know I'm painting with a broad brush, but I think by and large, we, the American people, have it. But a lot of us old frogs here, us old country frogs here, have awakened. And we ain't going back in the pot. And that's what scares them. That's why they're putting everything they can, including trying to say Donald Trump is, bat whatever crazy, and we got to get him out, like Nancy Pelosi said. We'll talk about that more in just a minute. But that's why it's all hands on deck for the left to get rid of Donald Trump, because they're terrified of you, the American, and more people. A lot of us Trump supporters, we're awake. We realize we're in boiling water. We got a short time before our goose is cooked. But a lot of Americans don't realize that. And the left is trying to make sure that we all get cooked before we truly get awake as a country. That's the way I kind of see it, man. All right, moving along here. On Thursday, he talking about Donald Trump, and this is more, like I said at the top of the show, shows you, because everything they're criticizing Trump for here, I think is fantastic things he's doing. On Thursday, he, talking about Donald Trump, spent an hour phoning into television interview. I think he was on Marie Bartiromo, that gal. Released 2 video messages aimed at key voting groups. We're going to play one of them in a minute. Began planning rallies for next week and promised senior citizens free access to experimental drug he falsely, and we'll talk about that, claimed as a cure. So essentially what they're saying here is that Donald Trump has done more in a couple of days than Biden does in a month, let alone the fact, as President Trump alluded to in the first debate they had, that he's done more in 47 months than Biden has done in 47 dadgum years as an elected official. And I don't know who could argue that. And then this idea that Donald Trump falsely claimed was a cure for COVID-19. I want to play this message. It's about 2.5 minutes long, so hang in there. I know that's a long time on the internet, but this is Donald Trump tweeted this message out to seniors, but I think it's really to all American people. And does this look like a guy who's unhinged? Does this look like a guy who's on his deathbed and is not ready to get out? Or does it look like Donald Trump rejuvenated, revigorated, ready to go, recharged, and ready to go, man? Check it out, and you will come back and talk about it.
Favorite people in the world, the seniors. I'm a senior. I know you don't know that. Nobody knows that. Maybe you don't have to tell them, but I'm a senior. We are making tremendous progress with this horrible disease that was sent over by China. China will pay a big price for what they did to the world and to us. But we have medicines right now, and I call them a cure. I went into the hospital a week ago. I was very sick, and I took this medicine, and it was incredible. It was incredible. I could have walked out the following day, sooner. It was incredible the impact it had. And we're going to make that and others that are similar to it, almost identical, we're going to make them available immediately. We have an emergency use authorization that I want to get signed immediately. The FDA has moved at a level that they've never moved before. Things that would take 2, 3, 4 years are taking a matter of weeks or even sooner than that. And that's because of me. We're taking care of our seniors. You're not vulnerable, but they like to say the vulnerable, but you're the least vulnerable. But for this one thing, you are vulnerable, and so am I. But I want you to get the same care that I got. I got incredible care at Walter Reed, incredible doctors, and this medicine in particular, one medicine was unbelievable. You're going to get the same medicine. You're going to get it free, no charge, and we're going to get it to you soon. And the nice part is it's made by a number of companies. It's totally safe, but it's powerful against this disease. So we're going to get it out to you. We're going to take care of our seniors, all free. And I just want to thank you. And what we've gone through as a country is a horrible thing. My opponent, as you know, he talks, but he never did anything in 47 years. I did more in 47 months than he did in 47 years. He just talks. It's the same old thing. If it were up to him, you wouldn't have this, you wouldn't have anywhere near it for years. They wouldn't even be talking about anything like this. He had his chance with H1N1 swine flu, and it was one of the great disasters. He didn't know what he was doing. but I do know what I'm doing. And the seniors are going to be taken care of, and then everybody's going to be taken care of. And it's coming out really fast. So thank you very much. We love you. We love America.
God, don't you want to stand and just start singing, God bless America? God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. And God bless you frogs that have jumped out of the pot, man. Does that look like a dude that is like convalescing to you? Doesn't it look like Trump rejuvenated Trump? You know, what is Pelosi this week, today, literally as we are speaking, supposedly, Pelosi is putting together a committee or a council, if you will, to investigate Donald Trump and bring him under charges, so to speak, of the 25th Amendment, saying that he's unhinged and he's no longer fit for office. I mean, that video right there is evidence number one that she's BS crazy, right? But the 25th Amendment, let me tell you, Donald Trump, if Donald Trump is unhinged, if that guy we just saw right there is unhinged, then let me tell you, man, what I am praying, hoping, and working hard for, and I hope you are, is for Donald Trump to be unleashed, baby. If we reelect Donald Trump 4 more years, and he doesn't have to worry about running for reelection, which all political figures have to worry about that. Can you imagine if they're scared of Donald Trump unhinged, wait till he's unleashed and they have no hold on him whatsoever. God, I think America's not only going to be great again, but again, man, and stay great. And the sky and the stars are virtually the limit, man. I mean, I can't say enough about that. And this idea that they say in this article that Donald Trump is claiming a cure, he said he feels like he's cured and he's hoping he's cured. And what is the point of medicines that we're working on? And they say, well, there is no cure for COVID. Yes, certainly there's a cure. There are people who take no medicines, not even got sick, and some that got sick that didn't take medicines and recover, just like the flu. I don't know if there's going to be a vaccine or not, but we are definitely inventing new ways to treat COVID. There's no question about it. If you get COVID now, and this is why Donald Trump was talking about don't fear COVID, don't let it dominate you. He doesn't mean don't take safety precaution. He doesn't mean that you don't have anything to worry about. He's saying, and they don't understand, they don't speak Trumpism or whatever. To me, it's clear as a bell. He is saying that you can't let that dominate you. We're Americans, for God's sakes. We have to do what FDR, a Democrat, said. We got nothing to fear but fear itself. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. The old messages of the Democratic Party, hey, I'm good to live under them. Maybe not all their policies, but the Democratic Party of now is run and hide. You know, America, if it ever was great, is no longer great, and we're done. You know, like Obama, we're just a voice in a chorus. He wants to lead from behind. Remember that? Donald Trump will never lead from behind. And that may, in fact, be one of the reasons why he caught COVID, because, yes, he's out there. He's boldly going where the Democratic Party is afeared to go. They want you to stay in that pot and keep simmering until the boiling point where you don't know to jump out. But Donald Trump, yeah, he may have been reckless in the sense that he was trying to show leadership. You can debate whether he should have done some of the things he did or not, but I can tell you, Donald Trump did it because he thought he was doing what was best for the United States of America, not as the left cues what is best for him, because obviously what would be best for him personally was probably not to ever run for president to start with. Can you imagine where we would be with COVID and everything else if Joe Biden or somebody, or Hillary Clinton, for God's sakes, would actually have been president during all this? Where would our economy be? And we're rebounding in every way, shape, or form. And when I say they, I'm talking about the hardcore progressive left that have taken over the Democratic Party, the mainstream media that is basically their PR branch. Think about this. Biden has got more free publicity, probably trillions of dollars, let alone billions, in basically free campaign money from the mainstream press. No president has ever been under attack like Donald Trump, the way I see it. And yet he is persevering. Donald Trump, man, he would have been better off. He'd be better off now if he just rode out the pasture, so to speak, and enjoyed all the fruits of his labor. But we wouldn't be. And that's why we got to work for him. That's why we ought to be grateful that he's willing to run. And he's back, baby, it looks to me like. But the president's attempts to depict, back to this crazy article, but the president's attempts to depict a back to normal presidency were punctured, which we don't want, by the way. We never expected Donald Trump to be a normal presidency. I can tell you flat out that 99.9% of the people that voted for Donald Trump did not vote because they wanted a business as usual normal presidency. We wanted a political bomb, so to speak, to blow up Washington swamp. That's what we wanted, and that's why we voted for Donald Trump, among other reasons. But the president's attempts to depict a back-to-normal presidency were punctured when the Commission on Presidential Debates announced Thursday morning that next week's schedule. Do you know how long they gave Donald Trump warning, or his campaign, that they were switching the debate to a virtual debate? 5 minutes they gave him warning before they announced that that was a done deal. 5 minutes. Wow, man. You talk about unhinged. That's unhinged. Announced Thursday morning that next week's scheduled town hall meeting with Trump and Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden would take place virtually rather than in person. Now, why would Donald Trump not want to do a virtual thing with Joe Biden? Do you think it might be because Biden is going to cheat and he's just a cheater his whole campaign? You think I'm overplaying this? You know, they wouldn't answer questions about packing the Supreme Court. And you imagine, and I'm going to get to this other in just a second, that Joe Biden running for president and Kamala Harris, vice president, refused, flat out said, I'm not answering that question. I mean, when has a person ever campaigned for office and said, oh, I'm just not answering that? You know, I'm just not answering that. I mean, and they got a chance to get elected. That ought to be disqualifying in and of itself. But if you're wondering if Joe Biden would cheat in a virtual debate if they're not some nonpartisan people looking at him, check out his own campaign spokesman, one of the top people in his campaign, refusing to answer what we all know is true, that Biden uses a teleprompter to do interviews with reporters and even take questions from voters. Check it out.
Has Joe Biden ever used a teleprompter during local interviews or to answer Q&A with supporters?
Brett, we are not going to engage. This is straight from the Trump campaign's
but yeah,
talking
they're
points.
using it.
And what it does, Brett, is it's trying to distract the American people.
They're using it. They talk about it every day. Can you say yes or no?
That's because they talk about it every day, Brett, because they don't have a coherent
well, you have
strategy.
an answer. Yes or no?
Brett, they talk about it every day because they don't have a coherent argument for why Donald Trump deserves re-election, deserves 4 more years. We know that he lied to the American people. We know that he has not shown leadership during this crisis, and they are desperate to throw anything they can against the wall to try to distract from that fact.
I understand, but you can't answer the question.
Brett, I am not going to allow the Trump campaign to funnel their questions through Fox News and get me to respond to that.
Well,
oh my God, man. They won't answer question that everyone knows is true. I mean, we've seen the video coming from Biden's campaign himself where he's talking about move it up, where you could see the reflection of the teleprompter in the glass behind him. All of those kind of things where he literally has to have notes. Biden had to have notes to invite Kamala Harris to join his campaign as VP. He had to have cliff notes. He couldn't just remember that. I mean, give me a break. So we know that it's going. I mean, think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Here, Kamala Harris and Biden both, when it comes to something that really matters, they answer, or that it impact us other than the Supreme Court, which is obviously matters. But think about how quick they are to answer questions like they did in the 2020 debate about, as a show of hands, how many of y'all are for giving free medical care to illegal immigrants? Now, they didn't word it that way, and everyone, including Biden, yeah, we're willing to give away your money. They won't give you insurance, but they'll give it to illegal immigrants. Imagine that. They won't tell you about the Supreme Court because, of course, they're going to pack the Supreme Court. Why not just answer the question? But it's pretty obvious to anyone that is not totally up Biden's behind, that isn't part of the Trojan horse campaign, that Biden is going to cheat if they have a virtual debate, because that's what he's been doing. Frank Frankenhoff, or Off, I hope I'm saying that right, co-chair of the debate commission, confirmed Thursday that each campaign was only given 5 minutes of notice before the move was announced to the public, like I just told you. During his hour-long interview with Bartonoma, Trump twice called Democratic vice... Let me back up to that 5 minutes notice. You know why Biden? I mean, it's easy for Biden to jump on board because he's been in a virtual campaign from day one, virtually in the basement of his home. Our president, our leader, the leader of the free world, wants to get out. He is willing to risk his own personal health to get out and meet the American people and take the campaign. He's not going to let COVID dominate his life. We can't do that. We're the land of the free because, or we're the land of the free because of the home of the brave, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't become the United States of America, the greatest country that has ever existed, by cowering in the corner. And by God, if now, then let me just tell you, regardless, that's why this election is bigger than Donald Trump. Because if we're going to be America the sheeple and not America, we the people, then we're done already. It don't matter if we elect Donald Trump or not. We'll be done, man. But during his hour-long interview with Bartonoma, Trump twice called Democratic vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris a monster. She's a monster. Oh, my God. Made baseless spying accusations. What did Biden call Trump? A clown? Right? So, it's bad he called Kamala a monster. Against his predecessor and attacked several members of his own cabinet. Now, Billy Bob Bass, if you hadn't met my psychic sidekick, Billy Bob here, he just told me while I was ranting there, he kind of keeps calm and quiet, a lot like Pence. No flies on him, by the way. But Billy Bob, he keeps me straight. He has a Twitter handle. It's at Billy Bob Bass 1, and mine is at John Martin Talk. So check us out there. But he says we actually have a picture of Kamala Harris shortly after the debate, coming out of the debate the morning after. And I'm taking him at his word. He sometimes gets me in trouble. Let's see. We got that picture? There she. She's no monster. Oh, my God. It's Godzilla. Yeah, I said it. All right, we're gonna move. Billy Bob gets me in trouble, man. It ain't me. So if you wanna ban somebody, you gotta ban Billy Bob, not me. But he claimed, talking about Donald Trump, that federal law enforcement was watching the Nevada governor and an unidentified New Mexico official for potential voter fraud as he continued to assail voting by mail as inherently corrupt. And it is. It is inherently corrupt. We see that all the time. There's thousands of actual examples of that, by the way. There is evidence. And speaking of evidence, did you see where Whitmer came out and said that Donald Trump was culpable in the threat to her, that all that crazy malicious stuff that no one supports, no sane person supports, but Donald Trump was at fault for that. Where's the evidence? She didn't present any evidence, and the media has kind of implied it. They haven't said, oh, well, where's your evidence, ma'am? I mean, we're all opposed to that kind of stuff. I'm opposed to violent overthrow of our government in any way, shape, or form. But the left is not. They do it. It's kind of routine business now. By the end of Trump's tour de force, Vice President Pence's performance at his debate the night before had become little more than an afterthought, and for many Republicans, a fleeting memory of normalcy in a presidential campaign. Well, first of all, Donald Trump the news coverage is always going to be more about Trump than any vice president, let alone Pence, even as great as he did. I don't think Donald Trump's trying to overshadow Mr. Pence in any way, shape, or form. He just does. I mean, he overshadows everyone except maybe Godzilla. I don't know. He might not be able to do that. But for many Republicans, it says here, they a fleeting memory of normalcy. Normalcy. Is that what you want? If that's what you want in a president, you want just a normal ho-hum every day, another old white dude, really, maybe, or maybe a black guy like Obama. He's about as natural as they could be. What was the difference? Did anything really change for the better with Obama? Forget skin color. I don't really care about that. I'm ready. I don't have a problem with a woman being president. I don't have any of that issue. There's been great leaders around the world have been women. I mean, Margaret Thatcher comes to mind. What is her name in Israel? It escapes me at the moment. That comes to mind. There's many examples. I'm not worried about any of that. I just want to make sure that they tell us, like Donald Trump has shown us, that we need to get out of that simmering pot because the boiling point has been reached. We need to know. But let me just ask you, do you really want to return to normalcy? Now, I know we don't want the fighting and violence in the streets, but let me tell you, that's going to take Kamala's word for that. That's going to even continue after the election. And she supported that, by the way. We've played that many, many times. But I hate to break it to a lot of you snowflakes out there. We didn't vote for Donald Trump because we wanted him to be normal, a normal presidency. We voted for him to be a bit unhinged, and we're going to re-vote for him and re-elect him so he can be unleashed. Get used to it. Because I think I can speak for a lot of MAGA hat wearing Dreg Society sons of guns out there, we're jumping out the pot. We're out the pot, baby. And we ain't getting back in no matter what happens with Donald Trump. We're not getting back in. I'm not. I know that. Biden, meanwhile, continued to campaign across the country, traveling to Phoenix after receiving another negative test for the virus that has kept Trump sidelined for a week. He's sidelined. Like, okay, Biden's on fire, I guess, man. Now that he's been tested negative and Trump's, having to be at the White House hunkered down, Biden is unleashed, baby. He's unleashed. He's out there. Well, I want to play you a video. This is from a local Phoenix station that shows Biden and Kamala Harris meeting up and campaigning to take the great state of Arizona. God help us if they do. But check it out.
Yeah, guys, there's no question. Candidates are laser focused on battleground Arizona, especially today. Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Kamala Harris just wrapped up a speech here at the Carpenters Union out in Maryvale. Now, take a look at this video. This is them leaving here just a few minutes ago with their official Battle for the Soul of the Nation bus tour. So keep an eye out for this bus around the valley. Now, they both landed in Phoenix between 11 and noon today before heading to their first stop, the Herd Museum in Phoenix. There they were joined by Cindy McCain, who of course endorsed Joe Biden just a couple weeks ago. They all met with hours after releasing a new tribal policy. From there, they traveled here to the Carpenters Union, speaking to a crowd of about 20 early voters. Biden addressing a number of issues, including health care and veterans. He also talked about his relationship with John McCain. Take a listen.
We used to argue like hell. We were like two brothers. We'd fight like hell. But we always ended up together. And that's how it used to be. It used to be that way across the board. He wasn't a loser. They're all heroes. And you know what? They deserve better than a president who will say anything to deflect responsibility for any mistake he makes.
And this campaign stop is far from over. 12 News confirming with his campaign that Vice President Biden will be staying the night here in Phoenix. We'll be following his movement around the valley throughout the duration of his stay, which we know includes a stop at Barrio Cafe. For now, we're live in Maryvale. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Bianca, thank you.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I fell asleep during the Biden blitzkrieg. I mean, really, seriously, this dude is going to be president of the United States? I hope not. I mean, really, you're going to vote, you out there that are Biden supporters. Is anybody passionate about Biden? I get that you hate Donald Trump, but show me where you're passionate about Donald Trump, because we know Trump derangement syndrome is real. I mean, Nancy Pelosi shows that on a daily basis. But did you see the throngs of people out there supporting Biden? They met the Biden buses coming. Can you imagine if Donald Trump was traveling through Phoenix with a bus? He couldn't even move 10 feet. Oh, wow. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable to think that someone who is campaigning like Joe Biden even has a remote chance to win. I mean, and he does. If we don't do our part, if we don't turn out, if we don't have a Trump rally, mega rally on November 3rd, that dude might be the next president of the United States. And we're going to be in trouble. Back to this article. Though he was just released from Walter Reed National Military Medical Center on Monday, Trump is eager to do campaign events, according to 4 advisors who, like others interviewed for this report, spoke on condition of anonymity. Well, I'm always willing to go on the record for Donald Trump. I mean, anything negative about Trump is always anonymous, and we never can think. To discuss internal deliberations and anonymity. The president would like to be back on the road starting Monday, advisors said. Oh, God, how terrible is that? That Donald Trump actually wants to get back to work for the American people. Like I say, Donald Trump, he's totally unhinged, man. Don't you know, sir, you should be like taking a MyPillow and putting it over your head and hiding in a bunker somewhere? I mean, good Lord, man. That Donald Trump, man, he wants to get out and go back to work. And he's working from home right now more than most people are. But he's unhinged, man. We got to get rid of that dude. Isn't it interesting how that they want to, get impeached 45, and now they want to put the 25th Amendment on him during an election? We're like 3 weeks away from the dadgum election, and they say, oh, we can't. We got to let the voters decide about the SCOTUS pick. But Donald Trump can be removed from office before Election Day if Nancy Pelosi, but she's not the one that's crazy. It's Donald Trump. Let me just tell you, baby, what I'm feeling more and more every day is Donald Trump is going to win. We're going to do our part. We're going to show up. We're going to have that November 3rd Trump rally nationwide. Donald Trump is not only going to be unhinged, going to be unleashed, baby. He's going to be the new Godzilla. But he's bringing peace and love with him instead of destruction. White House physician Sean Conley, who has released only briefly memos describing Trump's status since Monday, said earlier this week that he would like to monitor the president through this weekend, sounds sensible, to ensure his health does not relapse. On Thursday, Conley said he believed Trump was on track to safely return to public engagements by Saturday. Oh, Lord, we got to get rid of Trump. Citing Conley's memo, Trump's campaign released a statement Thursday night demanding that the debate be held in person October 15th as previously scheduled. Well, I've been thinking about that. And I got inspired by the Pence debate. I'm concerned about the fly like everybody else. So I got a solution based on the Pence-Harris debate and the fly problem. I got something. We're going to go old school with something that would really work. We're going to bring back the cone of silence. Do you remember the cone of silence, man, from Get Smart? Even though Biden ain't that smart, according to Mr. Trump. So we're going to bring back the cone of silence. Billy Bob, wait a minute, we got something coming in from Billy Bob. He tells me there's actually a new and improved version of the cone of silence. Yeah, this would be a great debate, would it not? He just put the bubble on each one of them's head with maybe a filter in between and just let them go at it. I'm getting more unhinged and unleashed every day. I'm feeling good. I knew that I would, and I'm ready for Donald Trump to be back, baby. Trump has been convinced that he is fully healed, telling Bartonoma he is no longer taking most of the medications prescribed to him to fight the disease. Trump planned to join conservative radio host, otherwise known as the Godfather, Rush Limbaugh, on Friday for a virtual rally. Man, I got to tune in for that. If you didn't know about that, I got to tune in. That should be amazing. Advisors have been conveying to Trump the importance of using his time in isolation to project a sense of compassion and present himself as a sympathetic character. Instead of Trump has continued to act like a brawler and create controversial headlines. Amen, brawler, go on, baby. I mean, that's the Trump I vote. Trump compassion. The man has tons of compassion. There is so much evidence of that. I mean, he's been very generous. He donates his entire salary. There's all kind of stories about Trump, the person, way before he became Trump, the candidate, and Trump, the president, that he was a compassionate person. I said this the other day. And by the way, if you want to look at archives of our show, podcast, go to John Martin Talks Facebook page, like it, share it with others. YouTube, John Martin Talks, America's Voice News. You can download free app on your iPhone, your Android. They have Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Channel 219, Dish Network we're on as a late night show, and the Pluto Network. There, we're getting out the word far and wide. We're going to get it even further if you'll help us by not only sharing it and everything. I appreciate that. But if you're willing to take a step further and support our sponsor, Big Daddy Unlimited, BDU, check out the link in the show description. I talked about it in depth at the top of the show, but no matter when or where you're watching our video, look above it, the show description, you'll see sponsorship link. Check it out. all things Second Amendment. You can't go wrong. But Donald Trump, I said this the other day, he shows his compassion, yeah, but you know how he shows it even more? Through his action. Donald Trump is a man of action. I mean, the way I look at it, ladies and gentlemen, you know, what does LeBron say? Vote or die and all that kind of stuff. That's like the progressive mantra now. It's vote or our country dies, not the president. But I look at it as it's time. It's time to step up right now. Donald Trump is ready to go. It's up to us. At this point, it's a turnout election, and it's a base election. That's the way I see it. And if you're undecided, let me just invite you to join me and ride or die with Donald Trump, baby. We gonna ride or die with Donald Trump. That's what we need to do. We have a choice. We can take this guy right here. I know it's a meme, but I'm going to show you enough. This to me symbolizes Donald Trump quite a bit. And this next one I want to show you shows the choice. This shows you old Pinocchio Joe, man. That's who. So you got a choice of Trump, keep on trumping, baby, ride or die with Donald Trump, or get with Pinocchio Joe, man. That really is your choice. We got a few minutes left. I got to get into this poll because the polls, Donald Trump might as well cash it in. This is a Breitbart article. Poll, 56% of Americans say they are better off now under Trump than 4 years ago under Obama Biden. A solid majority of 56% of Americans, and it should be even more than that, say they are better off now than they were 4 years ago. A new Gallup survey shows, and Gallup is a very reputable group. But hey, I thought this race was over, right? I mean, we might as well give Pinocchio Joe the thing. We might as well hang the ring around his nose, right? Only 32% say they were worse off than 4 years ago. If true, Democrats might ought to be worried. The number is, as Fox News' Laura Ingraham noted on Thursday night, the highest Gallup has ever recorded at this point in a presidency. So stick a fork in him. He's done, right? The NBA might be down, lowest ratings ever, but Donald Trump, man, king, he's flying high, baby. He's dunking this thing with our help, with our Trump rally on November 3rd. Donald Trump will be unleashed, and I can't wait. Historically speaking, this bodes very well for President Trump. Let me give you a couple of quick examples in the couple of minutes I have left. For instance, when former President Barack Obama was seeking re-election in early 2012, the number he had, keep in mind, Trump's at 56%. At a similar poll, Obama was at 45%. And it stayed level on through, and he won, right? So Trump is higher than Obama was at the same point. How could that be? Maybe it's that magic wand, baby. Maybe it is the spine that Donald Trump found, the magic wand that Obama never had for the economy. Could be, man. Likewise, when former President George W. Bush was seeking re-election in 2004 in October, the number was 47%, and the junior Bush won. Could it be that Donald Trump is actually opposing the industrial military complex? He's opposed to endless wars. He just announced that he feels like we're going to have all the troops from Afghanistan home by Christmas. Could that be the difference between him and George Bush Jr.? When former President George H.W. Bush was seeking re-election in 1992, the number dropped down to 38%. And of course, we know what happened. Bush lost. What's the difference between Donald Trump and Bush Sr.? Promises made, promises kept. Promises made, promises kept, ladies and gentlemen. That is the difference. But in 1984, when former President Ronald Reagan was seeking re-election, he won 49 states in a landslide defeat of the Democratic opponent. The number was down to just 44%. Trump's at 56%. I'm not saying that Trump's going to win in a landslide. I'm not even saying Donald Trump. I believe he's going to win. I do honestly believe that. But I am encouraged by him getting through this COVID. But what we got to have is to get out the pot. Get out the pot, baby. And I'm not talking about the pot that Kamala Harris put people in jail for and she bragged about smoking. That's not what I'm talking about. We got to campaign for Donald Trump like he's 2 votes behind, and the next 2 people you see going to put him over the top. I'm getting out the pot, baby. I am out the pot, and I'm not getting back in it. Are you? Are you going to get out of it? Do you realize what they've been doing to us for decades? Now is the time to jump, baby. Ribbit, ribbit. Be the frog. Jump out of the pot. Get on board the Trump train. I'm excited going into this weekend, as you can probably tell. Thank you so much for watching the show. I'm truly blessed to have you. We're growing every day, and the best is yet to come, like Donald Trump says. Check out our Facebook page, John Martin Talks. Like it, share it with others. YouTube channel, John Martin Talks. Spell it all the way out. Of course, America's Voice News. I'll pray for your family. You pray for mine. By God, we all ought to pray for this great nation and our president. They both deserve it very much. But like I say, each and every day, from my heart, from my family to yours, have a blessed day and get out the pot.